Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Simple C10, and on today's episode, we are gonna unbox and review this ALP4. And if you haven't heard about it, now you're gonna hear about it. This is Airlift Performance, the 4th generation. So I talk about the Airlift 3P all the time. I love it. I've put it in every single truck that I've bagged besides one, and it has been awesome. I include them in every Simple C10 air ride kit that I sell from the website, and I couldn't speak more highly of it. I like the Airlift 3P, but guess what? ALP4 is out, and we are going to install this on Lucky, and I'm going to give you my honest review. So is this ALP any better than the 3P 3.8 system? I don't know, but we're going to find out today, because they've done a lot of research, and the 3P has been around for a decade now. So they've learned a lot from that, and this is the newest and the most improved version of it. So I'm expecting them to have done some improvements to the 3P. For the critics out there, I think it's more than just having a LED manifold and a new remote. I think it's actually in the brains of the operation here. One of the main things that I've read so far about this is that it will hit your ride height or whatever pressure your preset is quicker. So instead of pulsing and trying to get right there, it takes a couple pulses usually. With the Airlift 3P, this will hit it right on the money right when you press the button. So I'm ready to test that out. I've read some of the options that you can have it when you turn your key on, that it waits 10 seconds before the compressor kicks on, or however much time that you choose. That's really good when you have a sound system, vintage air, the fuel pump kicking in, and a bunch of other stuff happening at the same time for this to have a delay. And that's just a few of the things that I've read so far. We're gonna dive in deep, because all the reviews that I've seen is either just unboxing and talking about it, which I'll do that, but I actually want to put this on Lucky. So if you already have a 3P, all you have to do is take off your valve manifold and unplug your controller, plug in the new controller, put in the new manifold, plug in your 5 air lines, you're ready to go. So I hope it's a 5-minute swap out. I've already drained the air out of my tank and got everything ready to install this one. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing, and let's talk about the features. So if you're interested in purchasing this kit, I've got it on the website, simpleC10.co. I have a couple different ways that you can purchase it. You can get just the upgrade kit, which is going to come with the valve manifold and your controller, and it will just plug and play with your current 3P system. If you don't have the 3P yet, all you have to do is go on the website, and you can choose to add a single or a dual compressor harness, and that will be the complete harness that plugs into your current compressors and then plugs this in, and it'll work. So either way, you can upgrade or get the full dual compressor harness kit on the website. If you get the single compressor kit, it's going to come with a wiring harness, some airline 3/8 or quarter, whichever one you choose, the fittings for the valve manifold, and then a water trap. And the water trap goes between the tank and the manifold. If you have dual compressors, you'll want to get the dual compressor harness, and you will get 2 different wiring harnesses that will connect together. Stickers and instructions. I'll definitely be reading all through these tonight before I install this tomorrow. But one thing I love about Airlift Performance is they always have great instructions, installation instructions, how to calibrate. It's all here in the manual. I really appreciate that. This is the first thing that is going to be different from the 3P to the ALP4. And I've already heard some good and some bad about this. The bad is the Airlift 3P controller was almost perfect. That thing was light, it fit in your hand really good, the buttons worked well. So one thing you'll immediately notice is this is about twice as thick as the old controller. Now it feels good in my hand, it is a little bit weightier. It's definitely got some weight to it, about like one of the old iPhones, how they felt. And when I first saw this on the pictures, I thought, man, that thing looks cheap. because I thought it was plastic. This is actually aluminum, and it feels really good in your hand. It doesn't feel cheap at all. So check that out. I think it feels really good in the hand. The buttons have a nice click to them. They don't feel cheap there. So I'm actually really liking this. This is touchscreen. So where before you just had the 5 presets and you had to press the button, this is more like an iPhone with the buttons. You can have 4 presets here that you determine, and then a bunch of options on the screen. And we'll go over all that in just a little bit. So I definitely like the remote. It's something different. People will immediately notice that this is different than the 3P as well. So I like it. As I unbox this, I just want to give a shout out to Travis from Slam It. He has been a great supporter of Simple C10 from day one. Because of him, I'm able to do this review. So thank you, Travis. And all the air ride kits and everything that I offer on the website come from Slam It. So I appreciate their partnership. Check this out. This is the valve manifold. It looks very similar to the old one, except you've got the LEDs that light up here. You can choose different colors for these. It does have this airlift badge that's going to stick in the middle of it, so it's going to light up really nice. That's going to be really cool. I'm not huge about LEDs and things like that. I like just very simple and classic, but I feel like this can be done well if you light it up. Like I'm thinking I may do green for Lucky, and it just adds a nice little touch when I do the bedwood up and you see this. Just a nice little touch here, but we'll see what that looks like all lit up. Last, we have just some of the extra fittings, zip ties, your airline cutter. We've got a fuse in here for the wiring harness, some wiring connectors, and then the actual remote connector. I'm going to go ahead and put this Airlift Performance badge on here, and I'm assuming some people in the future may make some custom of these. So if they do, or if you're watching this and you make 3D print any of this stuff, if you make one with Simple C10 logo on there, I will shout you out and represent. As long as it looks good, it's got to look good. Boom, there it is. That looks great. It's going to look awesome in the back of the truck. The first step to installing the valve manifold is to install these fittings, and you'll either get a 1/4 inch push to connect or a 3/8 inch, depending on what airline size that you got. So all you have to do is screw those into here, and the last one is the exit. You don't necessarily have to have one of these, but where on Lucky I have all the lines running down to the bulkhead, I will go ahead and put in 6 fittings here onto the manifold. On the old design, they had the push to connects in the actual manifold, so it made it a pain if one of these stopped sealing correctly. So I love that they went with an actual fitting on the manifold so it's easy to change out. One of the details that I see here is on the actual manifold, they have front left, front right, rear right, tank, and exit. They've got kind of initials there so you know where each one goes. Let's go ahead and put these fittings on here, then we can put it on the truck. One of the things that I wish they would do is space these out just a little bit more so you can actually get a socket on these to tighten them down. Because once you put the first one on, you can't really get in there, and you have to go one at a time from either left or right down the row, because if you put one here and then one here, then you can't get to the center ones to get a wrench on. So to upgrade, all we have to do is unbolt the old manifold. I went ahead and loosened up this stuff before I started. And what you'll want to do is drain your tank. So I already used the water trap here. I drained all the air out of the tank because when we start pulling these lines off, there's going to be air pressure in it. Let out all the bags, let out the tank, And now we can unplug and unplug all the air lines. So this will just unhook from here. Just leave that right there. I hate to even unplug all this stuff because it just worked so well. It wouldn't leak in. Everything worked great. There we go. 3P is gone. Here's the ALP4. There's the differences in the controllers. This one's definitely a lot lighter. This one a little heavier. All touchscreen, 4 presets. This one has 5 presets here. But this also allows you to have 5 presets on the actual screen plus 4 presets here. So all I had to do was unplug this from the back of here. Take the same cord that you unplugged and then just plug it right in. Alright guys, are y'all ready to test this thing? Because I know I am. The Manifold looks awesome in there. Check this out. Manifold looks great. It's getting a little bit later now, so I want to go ahead and power on this thing and calibrate it, and then we can play with the switches and stuff. Alright, we turn this thing on. I'm going to show you how to calibrate it. You go down to calibration right here. Do you wish to recalibrate your system? Yes. Is your vehicle on a level surface? Yes. Front wheel straight? Yes. Is the vehicle in all wheels free of obstruction? Yes. Manifold mounted? Yes. Do you have 1 or 2 compressors? 2. Maximum pressure for calibration. I like to calibrate it at the max pressure here. And then 2 next. Do you have height sensors? No. Calibrate pressure, manual or auto? I'm gonna do auto. Your vehicle will now move. Are you ready? Yes. Now it's just gonna go through calibration. Now it's basically gonna just air up the front and then the back and calibrate everything. Here is my just standard ride height, about 85 and 55, and then I have a low setting. This is still drivable and you can slightly turn at 75 in the front, 50 in the back. Gives you a nice little look going down the road. And I have some other presets. This is called tilted. Check this out. This is if I want to do that Tennessee tilt right here, kind of cruise with that bumper right on the ground, I can do that. or you can go, I've got a setting that is called too low. Let's check that out. This is just for like car shows. It's just enough in the front. It's about 60 in the front, 35 in the back, just enough to kind of hover above the ground and still have enough clearance where I can kind of shift lane to lane, but be pretty low. Then we've got air out. You can see it didn't drop much on the air out from the low. So here's the all the way aired out, all the way to ride height and how quick it hits the mark. Just like that right there, right on the money. Everything's calibrated. Now I want to check out what all is on this remote, and already I like it. I like the feedback of the pressure in the bag, the pressure in the tank. That's one of the things with AccuAir, is their actual handheld remote doesn't give you any of this feedback. You just have the controls and it blinks at you if something's wrong. I love on this that you can see everything what's going on. If you had height sensors on here, it has a height sensor gauge that shows you the height that you're at. So let's go into the actual settings. We'll go to display. It's got brightness on here. You can have an auto brightness level, and then you have display colors, which is really cool. You can choose display. Let's just choose red as the background and green as the accent, and let's go back. There we go. So you can see here the background's red, the actual numbers and everything are green. I'm going to try a different color. Background blue, accent yellow. Oh yeah, that looks cool. You've got the blue with the yellow. If it wasn't so bright out, you would be able to see this really well. So I really like the kind of the, I guess, customization options that you have. Violet, indigo, teal, orange, yellow, blue, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go back to default. I like having the option of the colors, but I'm not a huge kind of LED type guy. The ECU, you've got green, yellow, orange, sunrise, magenta, flamingo, pink, red, and then off. I'm going to choose, oh, there's some more. Crystal, blurple, plum, sky, blue, aqua, lime, green. I'm going to leave green, and you also have an ECU brightness right here. And here's a sleep mode. So you can turn this thing on sleep mode where your compressors and everything will turn on or stay on for 10 minutes. So you can play with your switches or whatever you're going to do, then it turns off. So it's kind of like show mode, but if you guys have ever used the sleep option on your TV, where you can set it and then it just turns off after a while. So if you're at a show and you wanted your ECU to be turned on and you wanted to go, let's see, 10 minutes. 10 minutes is the most. They have 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you can set a sleep option and then also the brightness on the sleep option. Here's the operation option. It has a rise on start option. So I never really turn that on, but if you like to start your truck and have it to air up to ride height, I like to just always manually do that so it doesn't like hop up in a weird situation. You know, maybe you're parked on a certain parking lot or something and you don't want it to air up immediately, but that is nice. If you just like to hop in, turn the key over, it airs up. Preset maintain, I always turn on. That's whenever you choose a preset, it will maintain that. So that way, if something leaks down or, you know, something happens, it will maintain that preset as long as you drive the truck. You've got minimum drive heights. I set my front axle at 60 and my rear axle at 30. What the minimum drive height does is it will recognize if you're moving, and if you are moving, it won't let your ride height get below that PSI. So it's kind of to protect you, and I have those set at like the lowest that I would want to go while moving. You know, if you drag your truck or you don't care about that, you can turn it off or just turn these both down to 0. You've got pressure and height mode. This is a pressure only system. If you have height sensors, then you'll go in and turn on the height sensors. The phone pairing, you can connect your phone. If this is turned off, nobody can connect to your system through their phone. 2-tap safety, I always turn on a 2-tap safety, and what that is you've got to double tap whatever button to make it move. You know, you don't want to be going down the road and accidentally tap an air out button and the truck airs out. So this double tap option allows you to have to double click it, kind of like a mouse on a computer. When you double click it, you just double click it, then it will air down or whatever you tell it to. This is something that's new. It's the pulse rate. So the pulse rate is going to allow you to speed up or slow down your pulse rate. So you've got fill, if you want fill to be slow or fast or default. So that's how fast it goes up. You can have it go up faster, and I actually plan on, let me go to fill fast, and then dump, I actually want it to dump slower. So I'm going to see what that looks like later on. I'm going to test it, but you can choose whatever you want on those, and that's mainly for the pulse rate. So when your truck airs up, sometimes you might want it to air up slower so it hits your preset right on the money, or sometimes you may want it to fill fast, and that's an option as well. Dump on slow, that just allows you to not air out so fast. You can do it slow or you could do it fast. So before, it never gave you that option. It was kind of just how it was. So I'm excited to see kind of how that works. That's one thing that I haven't tested so far. So that's all in the operation. The next is the sensor tool. This is if you have height sensors, then you would click this front left, front right, and you would calibrate your height sensors with this. So it'll help you dial it in and get it right on there. Compressor, you can actually have the option to turn on a compressor manually if you want. You've got the compressor count, your maximum pressure. I usually use 150 psi right there. The minimum battery voltage you can turn on. I'll put mine at 11 volts. That way I don't get the low voltage anytime if I'm just trying to air the truck up or anything. And one thing that I really like that they started on the ALP4 is the start delay. So the start delay is when I turn the key over, it's going to wait 10 seconds before it kicks my compressors on. That way, when I turn the key, I've got vintage air, I've got the sound system kicking on, the fuel pump. I've got a lot of electronics turning on right when I turn the key. So I don't want the compressors to just immediately draw amps right off the bat. So this will delay it. It'll give me time to just start the truck, alternator kicks in, compressors kick on, and it's kind of a fail-safe. Your compressor efficiency, you can change that to the duty cycle, and then you can also manually control the compressor as well. Already went through calibration earlier. All you have to do is click a few buttons with calibration. It'll air up and down and it'll calibrate it. And then after calibration, that's when you want to go in and change your presets. It has location, PSI, English, and then you have buttons. You can choose any of the buttons down here to have a specific color. Like you can have a function. You can see it changing color down at the bottom here if it was darker. But these have a different function for each one. So when you go through and name your presets, I name mine high, ride, low, tilted, too low. Those are just names. So you can go through and assign each one of these bottom ones to one of the presets that you made earlier. So for me, I have a high setting here. I've got my ride height here. I've got my low one, just the regular low where I can still drive, and then my all down right here. And if I want to go to any of the other presets that I made, on the bottom left right here, you'll see presets. And this is where you can manually edit all these. You get 5 of them. I named this one high. All you have to do is hit the edit button, name it, click next, front left PSI, front right PSI, rear left, rear right, and then it's done. And then that is a preset. Then you confirm the preset, and you can swipe through all your presets. So you could have these 4 buttons for whatever you want here, and then also while you're driving, if you wanted to hit like a left or a right or back down or anything like that, you can select one of your presets by clicking that button right there. And where I have it on double tap, you tap it once and then it'll pop up activate. You tap it again and then it will activate it. But that's what I really love, having 5 presets on the swipe here, having 4 presets here. Whenever you're driving, you can hit the drive button and it just kind of gives you a readout of everything going on. And then you have on the bottom right manual. If you click manual, this allows you to choose any 4 corners. And before on the old remote, you would have to do the front up, you'd have to hold the remote, then press both sides up to get it up. All you have to do now, if you wanted the front, tap the 2 front, and then boom, I got the front up right there. Or if I wanted to do the back, you can control the back up and down. See how fast and responsive that is? I mean, it's real quick as soon as you press the button. If you want it all up, you could just like that right there. Or like you want to do tilted left or right, you can choose left or right. It's just that quick any way that you want. Maybe I'm riding around somewhere that's kind of a rough road and I want to be able to air the truck up real quick if I need to. I could set my ride height and just be driving, but have all 4 of these selected. And then if I see something coming like, oh no, boom, I'm up. I can air everything up and then I'm good to go. And then I can put it back down to ride height whenever I need it. I've been riding around about 2 weeks with this setup. I've been to the Greenville show, the Southern Illinois Showdown. I just went to Triple Crown. I've been driving this truck. I've put 700 miles on it in about a month. So driving it everywhere, really enjoying it. This ALP4 has been great. But to give it my honest review, the Airlift 3P is awesome. It did everything I needed it to do. It looked great. This is a nice upgrade as far as having some of the manual options here, having a few more of the presets that you can really dial in. If I had height sensors, I think the height sensor setup would be a little bit easier on this controller. It's got a lot of the customization, so if you're into all the different colors and really just being different, I think this offers you a lot of that as well. The main thing that I really like about it is I think it hits the presets fast and efficient. Where the 3P, maybe it pulsed twice and would hit it, and that's great. This would hit it almost the first try. Like I'm gonna go low right there. Boom, see how it hit that? One little adjustment and it's good. Let's go back up to air, ride height. Boom, we're there. So it took 2 little pulses real quick, but we're there. Compressors kicked on, everything is good to go. So very responsive. The buttons, like I mentioned before, see how quick that response is. And I'm just really impressed with everything about the remote, how easy it was to plug in. And I would recommend this to anyone that's looking into possibly upgrading, or if you're getting an air ride kit for the first time, you can upgrade to the ALP4 with my Simple C10 Air Ride Kit just for about $100 more right now. So reach out if you want to upgrade, or if you're looking at a brand new Air Ride Kit. I did buy one of these little magnetic phone holders, which I really like because it holds this really nicely, and then I can put it on the dash, as you probably saw a minute ago. I can just put the magnet on the dash right here. I can pull it if I need it, or I can just sit it right there, hit the presets, and I'm good to go. Last but not least, I'll run through all my preset heights. So my high ride is 90 up front, 65 in the back. That is just in case of emergency and I need to pull in somewhere real fast, the ride height is 87, 85, 55, 55. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just a little bit more in the front left when you have a driver there. The low setting, 75 in front, 45 in the back. Tilted, 85 in the front, 30 in the back. And that is really got that tilt going on. I don't use that a lot. The too low, 60 in the front, 30 in the back. And that's about as low as you want to go before my control arms get pretty close to the ground. But it does look cool rolling in at a show, a straight shot. But that is my presets. I'm still dialing them in. The majority, probably 90% of my time is at this ride height right here. And it turns lock to lock. It doesn't rub on anything. It maintains it well. This is a good ride height. But you can go a little bit lower than this. But you may have the occasional kind of rubbing on the fender if you hit a bump just the right way. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the Airlift ALP4. Reach out if you need anything. Alright guys, that's a wrap on the ALP4 video. If you need to purchase one of these, simpleC10.co. I've got the upgrade kit like I installed on Lucky, or I've got the full kit available, or I can upgrade any Simple C10 air ride kit to an ALP4 for about $100 more. So right now it's on sale. So hit me up if you need one. I appreciate all the support. Guys, reach out if you need anything whatsoever. You have questions, you need help with a build. I'm staying busy every day helping people do personalized build plans. I love to take your vehicle, take your vision, and break it down on paper and send you guys a great plan. No matter what your budget is, we can break it down and we can get that truck built and you can enjoy it the same way I've enjoyed Lucky after finishing it. It's about a wrap on Lucky here. I've got a few other things to do on the truck, but then we're going to hop back on the 60 Sunny. I'm ready to put the Simple C10 4 link on there from Alex V. Show you guys how to do that. And then I'm going to cut that frame in half and install the back half from Porterbuilt on it. And then we get to have some fun with the LS swap. I'm going to do another vintage style LS swap on that truck. So I'm excited to do that. And man, going to make more progress. I'm hoping to have that 60, you know, as a roller here around Christmas or something. So that's a lot of work before then, but I'm here for it, guys. Thank you again. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Give me a like, thumbs up, all that stuff helps me a ton making these videos. But I really appreciate you guys. Have a good day. See ya.